Okay, good day everybody and welcome to this class. It's a pleasure having all of you around. I am super excited that you are decided to take up this as something you want to do for your summer. And trust me, it's going to be an interesting time together. Like many of you know before now, my name is Shegun. I teach ICT, and aside that, I do some other stuff. But during the course of the class, I might mention some of the stuff I do anyway. But let's just go through what we're here to do. And of course, by the virtue of how the class will be going, some of you will get to know each other better. And of course, like I used to tell my students something, there are two ways a teacher will know a child. First, if the child is doing very well, and secondly, if the child is not doing so very well. So if the child is very big and the teacher would like to know, oh, who is this child? Then also if the child is not too ahead, you understand? I want to believe for you to have decided to take up this, you are sure to make it work. And trust me, when we talk of the skills that we're going to be putting together here, the web design, the app creation, the graphic design, and of course the video editing, each of them are things that earn money on their own and they earn money big. And when you are able to put them together, come on, you are already high there flying. So let's just get through the content and I will show you the softwares and the application you need. And of course you can see it on my screen already. So this is me, and today we are going to be doing a brief of introduction, but beyond the introduction, we are going to be having some work to do as well. And for every class, there is a task. Let me say this now: for every class, there is a task. I'll be using it to measure your progress. I'll be using it to measure your understanding of what we are doing. Okay, so straight away, today is the first week and the first day, and we have the introduction. So let me just take us through it. And of course, some of those things here I've been saying it before now. Our expectation at the end of each class, I would expect that you come up with something. That is my personal expectation, and that is what you're going to show me. Because after this talk, that's what I want to call it now. After this brief talk, all we're going to be doing is hands-on, practical oriented. So I would like that you do something and send it to me. I need to see what you are doing. And let me just take us through the apps and the software that we're going to use. When we talk of web coding as it is, when you want to start, there are so many programming language you can use. And of course, I want to believe you guys are not strange to the term programming language. Even though you are in GSS2, you should know what programming language is. GSS3, SS1, SS2, and of course SS3. So you are not strange to that term programming language. So when we're coding a website, there are three basic languages that you can use. Then I mean basic because those are the simplest. Then as time goes on, when you build yourself, when you develop yourself, there are other programs that you can include, and they make your website so interesting. They make your website highly responsive. We're going to get to the breakdown later, but for this particular class, I'll put the link to how you can get all of these installed below. So for this particular class, we're going to use Sublime Text. And the reason why I chose Sublime, let me show you the interface of Sublime Text. This interface, you can see I have some codes already. The reason why I chose Sublime Text is just because when you're working with Sublime Text, look at it, I had to zoom in so that you can see what I'm showing very well. When you're using Sublime Text, all these things, let me call them things for now. I will define them later. All these things that you are seeing, they are many. And with Sublime Text, you have an added advantage of the text giving you an insight of what you want to do. So, as a beginner who doesn't know it all, Sublime Text is there to guide you through. You understand? So, you're going to be needing Sublime Text. Then, after that, there is a particular app. If you can get your phone to download the app, it is called HTML Code Play. Well, now ignore this term HTML. HTML is a programming language. Yeah, we know hypertext markup language. But then on this particular app that I'm talking about now, there are other programming languages we have JavaScript, we have CSS, we have Angular JavaScript, we have jQuery, so many of them on that particular app. So if you keep developing yourself. Maybe you know HTML, you know CSS, you know JS, which is JavaScript. You can then incorporate other React, JS, Angular, all of those things make your website and your app very, very interesting to use. And you never can tell what course you find yourself in the future, what line of work you find yourself in the future. So just try and download the app. And the beauty of the app is that when you're working with the app, you get to see the command, like the code, then the way the code will react and the meaning of that code. So it comes that way. I'll also put the link on this video so that you can get to download the app. Then of course, when we move from there to the next stage, which is how to build an app. Okay, for the web development, we are going to be running that for about 2 weeks ago because it's massive. It's massive. We're going to be running it for about 5 stages. Then also from there we'll talk about CSS. I will break all of those things down later. Then we'll talk about WordPress. This is where we are actually going to lift our website to something daddy and mommy can see. They will have to type in the address and they will see your website. And of course, I would know. I'm quite sure they will be happy that you're doing that. So, as I was saying, then we'll move to developing an app. Here, we're going to be using two strategies. We are going to be converting our website to an app, how to do that. Then also we're going to be building an app from the scratch using Glide app. For this you don't need to install anything. I'll just talk you through the process. Then of course we then go to graphic design, Canva. This app, Canva, of course, it's not the only graphic design software, but I prefer Canva. I kind of prefer Canva because it's cool. It's way better. Many of you have been taught so many designing app in school, like Adobe Flash, Adobe Photoshop, Corel Draw, and the rest of them. Microsoft Paint. It depends on what you can use. But we're going to be using Canva, and it's because it has a lot of mockups. More about mockup later. Then we will now learn on how to use Canva with partnership, in partnership with Photoshop rather, to create logo. I want to believe you guys have been seeing 3D logo. Let me show you what I mean by 3D logo. Something like this. My screen study locally. Something like this. I want to believe you have seen this before. Like I have a brother on this platform that he told me that he can do it, but instead of doing it with Pixel app on your Pixel lab rather on your phone, this is a better way of doing it and it's way faster. So we're going to be learning that as well. Okay. Then after that, we will now do some video editing. Now this is where this one comes in. Simplify. We're going to be imagining with Canva and we'll run whatever thing we want to run in that regard. So guys, you are so welcome on board. This is where you are going to be learning so many interesting stuff. And like I said again before I round up this orientation class, is you have to do something. You have to do something. As a matter of fact, I promised some of our guidance that at the very end on my own part, I will make sure I follow you up. And if I see that you're not doing what I expect you to do, I will reach out to them. Please, why is this child not doing this? So let's get onto it. I will drop this now. Then on the other side, we'll see how we're going to be running things one after the other. See you. Uh, Now I have to take up the camera so that we can just focus on this class well. Okay, we are done with introduction, we are done with the expectation, we are done with, so let's start with how to install your Sublime Text. The Sublime Text, the very first software that we're going to be working with to code our website. Alright. Doing that, I will not be installing. You can see it already on my system. I just want to show you the procedure rather. So I'll go to my browser and this is their website. In case you don't know how to get it, they just type on your Google search engine or any other search engine you might be using. Sublime Text Download. It's an open source software. Then you look for your Windows, uh, you look for the Windows you're using, 32-bit, 4-bit, whatever window you're using. This particular version is for Windows 10.7 or lower. So just look for the Windows you're using. Then the moment you click on it, the download will start, and you check it, you see the download. Just tap on it, you run it, uh, you say yes, and next, and install. It's a direct installation, no need to stress yourself over that. So since I have it already, like I said, I will just cancel it. So that said, uh if that is out of the way, then the next thing is to look at the real meaning of web design, and how to get started with your HTML first web page. So we're taking these two now. All right, doing that, let me show us this. For just the general knowledge, you can pause the video at any time in case there's something you see there and you want to hear again or see again. Now, there is a general knowledge about design. It's just a way to arrange something in a way that you feel it's comfortable for you collecting idea. Uh, don't mind this grammar, please. I used to say something to my student, and you hear me say that very often. That I used to say something to my student. Now that you are one of them, just open your mind to the concept I am explaining to you. You don't have to be stereotypic about this is the way he taught us, that's the way I'm going to take it. So when you talk of design, it's an artificial imagination, something in your mind, something you want to bring to reality. So let's just put it that way. So it's the same thing that happens to website development. And let me show us web pages now on my browser. Look at this. This is a WordPress website. It's a platform I belong to. Sorry, it's a platform I belong to for a particular training like that. This is a WordPress. This is another website. Look at it here. Website varies. This is another website. Of course, you know Gmail. Look at the way each of them is appearing. Okay, this one might take a little bit of time. Look at Facebook page. Look at Twitter. Look at Twitter. Now, each of these websites are designed in a particular way. They are designed in a particular, so the process of putting all the content together, that is the design. So whatever thing that you have to do in between those things is the programming. When you put them together is the design. Whatever thing you have to do in between those things is the, if you look at all these websites I've shown you just now, you see that their design, their interface are different from each other. That is the idea. And now, for the sake of what we're going to be working with, you should know there's a term called layout, your color combination, the graphics, which include logo, photos, clip art, icon, then also the font. Those are your textual elements. Then the content, what you want to put there. The reason why when I check your website, I want to come back again. I know you guys know of YouTube. YouTube, you go to YouTube over and over because of their content. All right, that said, what is a browser? Come on, you don't expect me to be telling you this. You guys are, I won't believe you are sharp kids. So these are just type of browser. Now, how does a browser render a web page? Now, how does this understand whatever thing you put here? How does this your browser understand? Now, let me just quickly go and say it. For example, now let's say I type in this address, twitter.com, this address. Once I type it in, how does my browser know, oh, this is what you're supposed to do? Now, Twitter as a company, they have their content loaded somewhere. We call it the cloud space. We call it the cloud space. So when I type in on my browser, for those of you that you are vast ICT students, you know that there's something called internet protocol. Internet protocol. So the browser passes the URL to find the IP address of the other end, which is the host. So we now create using the internet port to create a pathway. So that internet port that is using to create a pathway is what will form the HTTP hypertext transfer protocol. So what we are saying is that you are legalizing your right to be able to retrieve anything on Twitter cloud or on Facebook cloud to your browser, or to send anything from that same browser to their own cloud system. So to reach the host, you need an IP number. Like I said before, you need an IP number, and then the sockets need to be opened from the user to that number. It, it's just like when you want to enter into your room, you have to open your door. So that is just what it means basically. So the rendering continue on and on. That is how you have your data flow. That's how you have your data flow. So all these things just explain it into details. You might want to pause and read through as you are taking the class. Then we have a web page, just a document, a single web page. Then when you have collection of web pages, it becomes a website. Then a web server is the computer or the host of that particular web page or website. Then the search engine, you of course you know search engine. We just talked about one now. Then the tools you'll be needed, you need a computer, which I believe you have right now. You need a text editor, which you have installed. You need a browser. I wouldn't believe you have a browser on your phone. If you don't have a browser, since you have internet, you can just download Google Chrome. I prefer using Google Chrome because it's faster and it's user friendly. Just type on your search engine the same way we install Sublime Text. Let me just show you. Download download Chrome or PC. If you want to put that, then it takes you to where you download it. Okay, this because it's a Google software, so just use the it downloads directly and install it for you directly. You don't have to do any work. Okay, back to it. Now, these are the definition of terms. I've explained some of them. Then we'll go to this part later. CSS. HTML is the hypertext markup language. They talk about the structure, the elements, the building block. Like, let me not give you too many grammar. It's just the physical element of the web page or the website, as the case may be. The letters there, the images there, those are the uh, HTML content. Now, the CSS, it means cascading style sheet. CSS is the way those elements will now look, how they will appear, the color they will bring, the background they will have, and the rest of it. Then we have JavaScript. Under this JavaScript now, those are where you have other programming language coming on board, like the Node, the Mongo, the Angular, and so on and so forth. Now, the JavaScript basically is a programming language that speak of the interaction of the website, how your website interact, Now, let's go to how the three of them comes together. HTML, let's take it as the skeleton of the human body. The CSS, let's take it as the facial or the skin color of the human body. And let's say the JavaScript as your responsiveness. Let me come again. The HTML is the structure, the skeletal human body. The CSS is the way you perceive it, the way you can see it, your skin color, whether you are fat, whether you are slim, but the way you see somebody. Why JavaScript is your responsiveness. Now, if somebody is tall, that is the structure. The skeleton, of course, the bones are long, so the person is tall, and the person is fat, and the person can still be slow. That is the behavior. And in some cases, like for those of you that know me physically, you know I'm black, but of course, you can speak of my responsiveness. I'm quite highly responsive. So I'm just trying to use human body as a way to express it. So let's go back to the actual tab now. The HTML is the element of your website. The CSS is the presentation, the look, and why the JavaScript, whatever JavaScript you are applying, Angular, Node, mention them. They are just the behavior, the responsiveness of your website. So that said, let's now go and create our very first web page. Our very first web page. All right, welcome back, guys. So um, we are getting started now. We are getting started and we're getting started fully. Okay, we've treated the orientation, the expectation. We have installed our app. So let's just and I explained what is web design. So let's get on with our web design proper now. We want to start coding our website, and then for that we are getting started with HTML straight away. So to do that, just go to your desktop. You might want to refresh, which is good at all time. Refreshing, you don't get to overdo that. It's something you have to keep doing and doing and doing and doing and doing. So having done that, create a folder on your computer. Give it your favorite name. Probably you have the name of the website you want to build already. You know my name now. So let me just call it sorry. Let me just call it Schenko stores. Yeah, I want to be selling some things online. So let me give you a chance to see very well. So where is it? Here, Schenko stores. So when you open this thing, that folder, create two additional folder in it. Two additional folder. Or we might even make it three. Let's name the first one images. I will explain all of these things later. Then let's create the second one. Let's create the second one. Let's call it CSS. Let's create the third one and call it JS. Now let me explain briefly. So for these three folders that we create, all the images that's going to be on your website, they are expecting a link to the HTML file, where I will explain that later as when we get to when we'll be adding images and code. So all the images that will be on your website must be inside this folder. All of them have to be inside this folder. It's empty now. So maybe you might perhaps start downloading images online and put them there in case you know the images have relate to the kind of the website you want to create. Okay, that is one. Then CSS. I talked about CSS the other time. Like CSS is what gives us the body, the feeling. So all the codes of our CSS will be placed inside there. We're not done. We are not there yet. Then this one is the JavaScript. The same thing for CSS. All the codes for our JavaScript will be right here. Now, when we get to those places, when we'll be using CSS and JavaScript, I will explain some things there. You understand? Okay, let's move back to so we are done with creating our folder. Then immediately we just go to our Sublime text to our first website. Don't mind this. Just open your file, a new file. Yes, blank, empty, empty, completely empty. Then let's save it. You know how to save, right? Control S, Control S, Control P plus S. Then the moment you want to save, go to that particular folder that you created. This is mine, Schenko stores. I double click on it. You can see my files inside. Then call it home page. In every website have their own page, right? Leave this one as it is. Then you can just you can of course select HTML there, or just to make it easier, just select homepage.html. That's all. Homepage.html. Now if you go back to that folder, you see the magic has happened. You see, and automatically it comes with my browser, my default browser icon. That means if I double click on this particular thing now, I have a website. If I double click on this now, it's going to open on my web page on my browser directly as a website. And this is what I'm doing right now. Let's see what it comes to. See, The only issue here is that it's blank and there's nothing because I am not placing anything on it right now. So let me now do some work there. Are we together? And like I told you about Sublime Text the other time, if you are a startup programmer, if you're starting up, this app is very good for you. And this is what I mean. So let's say now I want to put my first tag where I will explain whatever thing I'm doing right about now. So this is my HTML tag. If you look at the Sublime Text now, it gives us an advantage. The moment I press H, all the H tag there has been displayed. So it just give me an advantage of clicking H, the HTML, the first. So it brings out the primary element of an HTML tag. Okay, let me explain this one after the other. Let's start from this doc type. You only declare it as an HTML file. You don't need to do anything about that. But aside that, all the tags that we have in HTML, we have a opening tag and a closing tag. It says some few one like this one now, like A, like BR. Okay, A has a closing tag like BR, and some few ones that doesn't have a closing tag. We are going to be making use of some of them later. Then look at it. When you open a tag in HTML, you have to close it. This is the opening tag and this is the closing tag. When you open a another tag in HTML, observe something that is happening here. If I click on HTML, there is a line underline here, and you can see the line here. That is showing me where the opening and the closing tag is. If we go to title, he underlines it here and he underlines it. So it is not a question of whether it's on the same line or whether it's on a separate line. As a matter of fact, everything I have here I can put on the same line. But I must have my closing tag and my opening tag. Let's say, for example, now I for chance just delete this. I've created a problem here because my body has a closing tag. You can see that there is no underline, but there is no opening tag. So let me just correct that. The moment I correct that, you can see that it's back in motion like the underline. Okay, so what does the head do? We're going to be making use of a tag called header later in our textual element. Head and header, they are not the same thing. Head is for, okay, for example now, let me show you some web pages. This is my Gmail, this is my Yahoo Mail. When you click on this one, this particular name that show mail.yahoo.com, that's head. You can see this Facebook that show, then underneath Facebook, that's the head. Now let's go to our own boring web page for now. You can see it's only showing homepage.html. We're not supposed to be having homepage.html. That's the name of our file. That's not the name of our website. So what do we do? Let's go back to our web page now and make that correction. Under here, I'm just going to put SHENCKO stores and save control S. Then you can see our website is still showing home page, but when you reload, now it's reloaded, you can see SHENCKO stores, SHENCKO stores. All right, so we are getting started gradually. Then after this now, there is something I'll be explaining to us, and I need you to put automatically. Now we've created our first web page, only that we've not added anything. Now we need to talk about framework and meta tag. So for our framework, let's just go back to our note. Now this is what you call a framework. That is the sketch of your website, the sketch of what your website should look like, what you want to have on your website. For those of us that are good with Excel, you can use Excel for it. But if you're not good with Excel, you can even drag it on a piece of paper. On a piece of paper, you can sketch it on a piece of paper. Okay, for example, let's go back to all those web pages that I have on my browser right now. This is Twitter. Look at the way it's being designed. Uh, don't be watching my page. Okay, look at this. This is a section. Now this is another section. This is another section. Now there are three sections. They have the icon here. Whatever thing they put together here, that is their framework. Now let's Look at another one, LinkedIn, for example. LinkedIn, look at it. Look at it. Consider LinkedIn to Twitter. Now you can see some differences. They have one, two, three long sections, but LinkedIn has just one, two. But Twitter compared to LinkedIn, now Twitter has this upper section. That is what you call a framework. So let's look at Jumia. Jumia. Okay, look at Jumia. Jumia has this. He has this header section. He has another header section. He has this big banner. Then instead of having the long header, the long columns like the other two websites, is having rows, rows. You can see rows. That is Jumia. That is what you call a framework. The sketch of your website now. So what you'll be doing right now, this will be your first task. This will be your first task. You look for a website that you want to develop, a website of your own. That is what you are going to be working on for this entire class. Look for that particular website, then look at their framework, then use that framework to sketch out your own framework. It might not be as elaborate as their own. Do you understand? Look at a simple one like this now. Where is it? I want my page, I want my web page to have the heading and the description. So here now I have my logo. Then recipe one, this recipe one now can just contain maybe a type of clothes that I want to be selling, the description, the price, then this one and this one. And that's all. Then at the bottom, we'll be talking about it later. We'll have the footer. So this is my head, this is my foot. That's all. And this is the body. It's as simple as that, at least for the beginning of your work. So I need you to sketch your own framework. Now, that is your first task. And do not forget, that is your first task. I will put it at the end of this class. Sketch your own framework. Show me a screenshot of it or snap it and send it to me. I need everybody to do that. Everybody, that is your first task. For this class, we're having about three tasks. Okay. Secondly, let's talk about meta tags. Meta tags. What are meta tags? What is it used for? How does it appear on the web page? What are meta tags? What are meta tags? They are this set of elements that when you put them on a website, you don't see them actually, but they have an innate function. The function will not be visible, but you will have them this working on your website at every point in time. So I'm gonna be applying to now to our codes, to our code now. Let's say meta asset. You can see this thing trying to fill up by itself. It's not a big deal if it doesn't do that for your own. The moment you type, let's say for example now, I want to retype the first one, meta, meta. You can see it's going to automatically just bring it in for me. So let me then explain what each of these two meta tags is for us. I'm trying to like reduce the length of this video. That's why I'm. So if you have any problem, you can always reach out to me. Meta chasset. The function of this one is that whatever character char, it's an abbreviation of character set. This code here now implies that the website will be able to take any form of lettering, any form of lettering. You can as well Google it up. Just copy out this code, then paste it on your browser and or your search engine and search. Then also this meta tag of name. The meaning of this meta is the tag. This chasset is the name of that meta tag. So the meta tag name, the meta, or let me put it this way now, listen carefully to this grammatical expression. The meta tag named name. That's the point. The meta tag named name is the meta tag that display your website on every compatible uh, gadget devices. With this now, your website will scale itself. If when you're using a phone, the website will scale itself to a phone. When you're using an iPad, the website will scale itself to an iPad. So the function of this one is to allow any character set on our website. Then the function of this one is for the website to be able to display on any device. Now when you save this now, I've saved it Ctrl S as usual, and I go to my web page. I'll go to my web page. If I reload, I don't get to see anything. So like I said, the meta tag does not reflect physically on your website, but it has an innate function. The function is inbuilt. Okay, so after that now, we've talked about the web framework, we've talked about meta tag. Now let's start putting textual element on our web page. Let's start putting textual element on our web page. If you want to do that, just come down to this body section. Everything you want to do, the title, the header, blah 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 blah, let it be under the body section. Now, just for the sake of trial, let me just write I sell clothes. I sell clothes. Control S, I save. Let me go back to my browser. Then reload. I sell clothes. Boom. Your first element. Your first element. I sell clothes. I sell clothes. Now, after that, um, I dropped it down. But look at what's going to happen. I dropped it down. My name is Shegun, owner of Schenko stores. Then I save Ctrl S. Now let's go back to my web page. Then I reload. Look at, I drop this thing down, but yet they're on the same line. Now this is to tell you that in HTML coding, when you want to bring something down, you don't have to go to the next line. No, that is not what brings it to the next line. There is a function of bringing it to the next line. Now that is where we are looking at now together. But before I go forward, I told you about an app here. Remember that you can download on your phone, HTML code play. This app contains all the tags that you will be needing here as far as textual element is concerned, every other tag. So just go there, then see how all these apps work. Now let me apply some tricks here. Well, not a trick anyway. Code. Okay. Look at uh let's say H, sorry, don't be scratching my code. H1 close. Okay, the reason why this one is not closed because I didn't start on time. H1. So I need to put something inside my H1. Then let me just copy. My name is Sheldon. Copy, paste. You can see now. Let me bring this one down. Then let me put H2 here. And let's see what we have. Then this I sell clothes. Let me just cut and put it here. Why deleting this one? Okay, now let's reload. Control S, save, then reload. Sorry, reload. See the difference. See the difference now. So those are the elements you use on your website to put the lines in wherever you want it to be. Now another thing you need to look at is the size of this element. H1 is bigger than H2. You can see my H1 now is bigger. Now when you can keep applying it down to H7. H7. Let's apply H7. H7 now. Open tag H okay 6. H6. Then type please do patronize us. Save. When you save, go to your web page and reload. You see it's way smaller. So that is how the textual element on your system operate. That is how the textual element on your system operates. So now I believe you can work with textual element on your it start from H1 to H6. So what you are going to be doing right now, and this one should take a good amount of time from you. It should take a good amount of time from you. The first task is creating your framework, how you want your website to look like. Just create it and put it somewhere. We are not using it yet. Then the second task is I need you to do research on other meta tags that you can apply to your website. For example, I applied to here. Where is it? I apply to here. I apply the meta chat set to allow all our character set. Then I apply the meta name so that our web page can display on any device. Any device, it will run the scale automatically by itself. You don't need to be zooming out, zooming in on any web page that on any device that you are looking at your web page from. Then so your task here is to look for other meta tags that you can apply. There's a meta tag for allowing your website to come up faster whenever somebody is searching for it on the search engine. There's a meta tag for that. There's a meta tag for social media noticing. So I just need you to go to search meta tags for HTML file. That's your second task. I will be sending it under the description of this video. Meta tags of your HTML file. Then the last assignment is to create an article of yourself. Create an article of yourself using at least 4 out of these H1 to H6 elements. Create an article about yourself. Create an article about yourself. You can write as long as you want to write. If I keep typing here now, don't mind me. I just keep typing anything I want to type, keep typing, keep typing, keep typing. Then just save, go to your web page, reload, you have it there. Reload, you have it there. Then also I will appreciate if somebody can guess the tag to underline. The first person that will show me the screenshot of the underline tag, you have a gift from me. Trust me, you have a gift from me. You have a gift from me. All right, so let's dig in. This will be the end of our class for today. You have 3 tasks to do, and please do them. I am interested in your task. Then tomorrow, trust me, we fire on header section. On Wednesday rather, we fire on header and section. Other than that, by that time your website is already looking at like it. And on and on and on like that. You do not want to miss this. So, guys, that will be it for today. And if you still have friends that want to join, please talk to them about it. Let them come on board. This place is going to be wow in the next 2-3 days. Now, you will not want to stop doing this again. Okay, till the next time we'll be seeing. Take care of yourself and please do my task.